right, we're going to call to order the final public trim compliance hearing on the proposed 2022-2023 taxes and budget on Monday, September 19th at 6 p.m. Do roll call.
Commissioner Ernst,
Here.
Commissioner Engel,
Here.
Commissioner Ronald,
Here.
Commissioner Vogelsett,
Here.
Commissioner Ray.
Here. All right. The presentation was done by Brianne.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Commissioners, your 2023 budget cash balance brought forward is $22,846,100. Current ad valorem taxes would be $37,394,000. Delinquent ad valorem taxes $20,000. Interest $175,000, excuse me. Charges for park fees and services $1,950,000. Special interest activities $1,500,000. School district cooperative funding $20,000. Beach renourishment transfer is $2,150,200. Resources forward $1,151,400, and we have some other funds that come in for $501,000. Total revenues and other financing sources totals $44,861,600. So the total estimated revenue balance will be $67,707,700. Our expenditures following that, our park operation for the city of Boca Raton operation and maintenance is $19,296,700. Special interest activities is $2,010,700. The Red Reef Golf and Meisner Bark is $248,200. Recreation technical and supervisory fees are $878,600. General fund administration is $594,700. City capital projects is $5,496,900. City capital projects that are being rebudgeted this next fiscal year and carrying from this current year, $7,683,500. And then you have the Florida Atlantic University field rental for $400,000. District capital expenses, we have the Boca Chica project over formerly known as the Ocean Breeze Course, $7,300,000. Hatch Reef Tennis and Pickleball Center is $5 million. District capital projects for some assorted ones for $1,790,000. We have the Shade Cover project for $1,500,000 and a beach renourishment sinking fund transfer of $300,000. Our debt service for the Ocean Breeze land payback is $1,615,800. We have our general government line, which is $2,518,900. That's where we get our insurance and those things. The Boca Raton Community Redevelopment Agency is $2,313,500. Our total expenditures and expenses is $58,947,500. We also have a beach renourishment sinking fund for $772,100, an operating reserve of $2 million, and then a capital projects reserve fund for $5,980,100. And our appropriated expenditures and reserves is $67,707,700.
Thank you. And we will open it up to public comment and questions. Yes, please go ahead and press the button on the microphone and state your name and address.
Name is David Batakamara, and address is 21909 Lake Forest Circle, apartment 106. I lived in Boca for 5 years, and we own the condo for 2, and we want to live here, raise our kids here, and hopefully buy more property. And we love the town, but it's a great place to be, beaches and parks. And I thought it was at 6 p.m. So the last meeting was at 6. The last meeting I just observed because I've never been to a meeting like this before. So when I got the letter from the Palm Beach tax collector's office stating the increase in the recent, I was wondering why. When I came and observed it today, I just wanted to make a statement that it's kind of the timing seems off with the recession that's happening with people. I work at a Bible college. I work at a nonprofit. I'm a chaplain in South Florida Bible College. There's plenty of retirees who live with fixed incomes, and at least the last meeting, to hear about shades and about for shades on the beach is just like, it just doesn't. And then you have a $4 million surplus, and when the whole state is under a big, massive issue with the homeowner's insurance, which still hasn't been resolved. With the surplus in hand, I understand there needs to be, if there was, personnel shortages or reasons why you needed that extra funding, I think the surplus could deal with all of that. No one's gonna lose their job, or none of the projects are gonna be affected. It's just the extra thing that can be held out. It's just gonna make it unaffordable for people like me. Young families who live on single income and fixed income family, seniors who live across the street from X, senior community, right here, across the street, there's a book is full of people who live on fixed income. At least until the recession goes away, where there's economies booming, until the homeowner's insurance issue gets fixed. Can you guys at least hold off on the rate increase? Be a little more considerate, it'll be nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Do we have anybody online?
No online speakers.
Okay.
Madam Chair, Madam Chair and Commissioner, good evening. There are two items before you this evening after conducting your public hearing under the statute, which is section 200.065 of the Florida statutes. As I mentioned earlier during my presentation at the last regular meeting moments ago, the district has properly advertised this evening's hearings. There are two hearings being conducted, one of which relates to the millage, which I'll read the title of the resolution to records, which you can consider it for approval this evening. The millage, as you know, drives the budget. The budget is presented by our executive director and fully reflects the expenditures and the budget for the upcoming fiscal year 2022-2023. The law requires that you approve the resolutions on the public record, allowing the public to speak, which you've done in both instances for both the millage and the budget. After this evening's hearing, assuming that the board adopts both resolutions, they'll be submitted to both the county, to the Florida Department of Revenue, and the revenue collection of Palm Beach County as well, to make sure that the items are all, in fact, on the tax bill, which will be published sometime at the end of October, to the extent possible, then becomes available on November the 1st. So with your permission, Madam Chair and Commission members, I'd like to read the record of the resolutions as they have been published and as they reflect the decision making to be made by the board. And they will read as follows. The resolution before you is the same resolution that was considered for first reading, as you know, with regard to the millage. The resolution number, this one's 2022-05, the resolution of the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District of Palm Beach County, Florida, adopting the final levying of ad valorem taxes for the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District of Palm Beach County, Florida for the fiscal year 2022-2023 and providing for an effective date. The Department of Revenue requires that when you adopt such a millage, you also need to recognize that you did in the first reading the following items in the body of the item, where the fiscal year 2022-2023 final operating millage rate will be under the resolution if approved, 1.08 mils, which is greater than the rollback rate, which is defined by state law and the Constitution of 0.9391 mils by 15%. Number two, there is no voted debt service millage. And thirdly, if adopted this evening, the resolution will take effect immediately upon its adoption. The second document, which would be by separate motion, is adopting the budget. That will be resolution number 2022-06. The resolution titled, for those who are here this evening to speak to it any further, is a resolution of the Greater Boca Raton Beach and Park District of Palm Beach County, Florida, adopting the final budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 and providing for an effective date. And to the extent possible, the budget as presented by our executive director reflects appropriation revenue estimates for the budget for fiscal year 2022-2023 in the amount for the public record being $67,707,700. That would be the resolution referencing the budget. 2022-05 is the first item to be considered by the board and followed by the budget millage, then the budget, all required by section 200.065 of the Florida statutes. You are currently in compliance, and that is the item on the floor for both. And we both need separate motions for approval. Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Madam Chair, is this appropriate time to say that?
That's okay. I'd like to move the adoption of resolution number 2022-05 to adopt the final millage rate for fiscal year 2022 as presented previously at 1.08 mils.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'd like to address the person in the audience because, and also my good colleague Steve here. You know, I think you gave a very good argument, and it comes with, you know, no short task of thinking about taxes and how it impacts people. And I know for me personally, on this tax rate for the parks, I think my homeowner's bill is less than $30. But it doesn't matter about me, it matters about everyone and what they can afford and what they can do. You know, and I looked, you know, after Steve gave a very passionate thing, I looked very carefully at our budget again, you know, before I came here to say, what could we do that would be different? You know, and how could we do it, do different? The only thing I could come up with is maybe we'll earn more on interest earnings on this thing. You know, because interest rates are going up so fast, everything is going up fast. But I have no crystal ball. I have no idea what's going to happen on this whole thing. And when you look at your overall tax bill, the beach and parks is not one of the biggest ones on it. You know, and the thing that bothers me most as a financial person on this board is trying to, you know, make sure we're self-sufficient in the future. And while 4 million sounds like a lot, for an entity of what this group is doing, it's really not that much, because everything I've touched, and I guess I'm on my second term, nothing has come in at a lower rate than what I thought it would. I thought, you know, friends at Cumberland, this would be lower, that it just keeps creeping up. But what I will promise you, even though I do support the rate here, I will do my best that next year we're going to relook at what we do. I know interest earnings is going to come in, I think, higher, but it's not materially higher for this. I just don't know what they are. But what I will do for you that as next year comes up is I think we owe it to everyone to look at some of the big ticket items that we have here, work with our colleagues at the city to see that what can we do just from our largest expenses people. We're not saying we want to tax people or anything. We want to work to make sure we're efficient. So we want to, one, be the most efficient we can be. Number two, on the interest earnings, I'm more than willing to, you know, recommend a reduction in that millage rate. If this thing comes in stronger than ever, that we can do something. But I also know that, you know, we don't have a lot of bases, you know, so if we had a big pot of money and we made a lot of money, I can tell you, you know, other entities have a lot of opportunity that should rethink their budget on things. And so, but I wish I could tell you, let's chop it down a little bit, but this is the entity that I think really needs it. And I think my goal is to make these parks as sustainable for everyone and keep them, you know, free. You know, I don't like the idea that people have to pay $5 for pickleball, but I know that kind of limits people, you know, to manage it. But we will do our best.
It's just the timing with the homeowners insurance crisis and the recession, if it can be done.
Yeah.
I'm
We
sorry.
can't have.
Yeah, we can't have a dialogue back. I understand.
Okay.
And so that's my comments. Okay, thank you.
Yes, Steve.
I'd just like to point out that on this budget, we had non-allocated reserves between operational reserve and capital projects reserve of nearly $8 million. I can't remember having a reserve of nearly $8 million. And this got in place. And thank you, sir, for echoing, and I don't know him, we never met, so even though his comments sounded a lot like mine from last week, he was speaking his mind. That's a lot of money. And if we have the opportunity, I always felt that we need to give our constituents the biggest bang for their buck. And yeah, it's nice to have $8 million sitting around we can put in the bank. But there are a lot of other people, especially seniors on fixed incomes, one income families, families living, even with two incomes from paycheck to paycheck. I feel like we're doing them a disservice. That's my opinion. That was my opinion last week, it's my opinion this week, and it will remain my opinion. Thank you.
Just as a clarification, we have interlocal agreements with the city that we can't get out of. And this year, we had an instance where the city came to us and they asked us if we would help fund a maintenance building at De Hornley Park. Totally unexpected. What is it, 2.3 million, Brianne? And we hadn't planned on that. But we can't get out of it because we have this agreement with the city. It's locked in. So we're not doing anything to punish our constituents. And as I said in the last meeting that we had, we're trying to maintain our parks as optimally as we possibly can so that you can bring your kids and feel safe. And we do want to address some safety issues. We also, the shade covers are not going on the beach, they are going for pickleball. So, you know, we're not gonna try to shade our beaches, so, but we do appreciate you coming, and I'd like to encourage you to keep coming, because I think the more informed you are, for the whole, community, the more informed you are about what we do and how we do it and how transparent we are, we'll all have a really good relationship.
Madam Chair, I agree with my colleagues about how we've poured over the budget. We are, as Commissioner Vogelsang said, are obligated to our business partner who maintains our parks and puts up facilities that we may not agree with the cost on, but we're obligated to fund. I've been on the commission for ever since Craig was 6 years old. And there have been opportunities that we've had to pass on because we didn't have the reserves. If we had been better reserved, we probably would be owning the entire parcel of land known as Ocean Breeze. And I think that we're good stewards of the funds. I don't like it, the increase. I'm in the insurance business, and I talk to people all day long who have issues with their homeowners insurance. My wife wasn't happy with the premiums that I got, even though we've had no claims. But when I look around at the facilities that we have and maintain for the use of the of our community, I'm proud of the fact of what we deliver to the community, whether it's the Gumbo Limbo Tower, which everybody's been wanting, which we've struggled with the cost of that, and I think we've decided to move forward with that. Hopefully, if we can keep the cost down. And Craig's correct. I think we may have turned the corner on the escalating cost of labor and materials. That's our hope anyway. We still have a real major project that we'd like to get off at Ocean Breeze, and we don't really know where that's going to settle down. But I am indeed sympathetic to some folks that have limited income. But I think that this budget, as Craig said, is probably the lowest on the tax table that you got from the property appraiser. I wish it were lower. The last couple of years, we did stay at rollback, but looking ahead, I think that we understand we're going to have some expenses that we're going to need to have these reserves apply to. And I offer no apology, just ask for your understanding of what we do, and hopefully, that, as Commissioner Vogelsang said, we'll come back and see what we do and how we do it, and how we're real concerned about the constituents, and that your money is spent wisely. And that's the one thing I can promise you will do. So thank you very much for coming. Please come back.
thanks, Tom. I agree with what you both said, and agree with you on the premiums as well. You're your wife, premium. And yes, thank you for coming. We do appreciate it. So we're done with discussion, and we'll go ahead and do a roll call vote.
2022-05, which is the millage resolution, properly read at the record. There are no further public speakers, either physically in the room or online. And you may close the public hearing, Madam Chair, on the item and consider the vote on the resolution.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
No.
Commissioner Rollins.
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
The record, that's number 2022-05.
Okay, moving on to resolution number 2022-06.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 2022-06, adopting the final budget for the fiscal year 2022-23. And that's it.
Second.
Any discussion on that? Nope. Joanne, roll call on that one.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
No.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-1.
The record 2022-06, which is the annual budget for fiscal year 2022-2023, has been adopted in accordance with the statute. May now be transmitted to the appropriate entities that are required to review this after this tonight's meeting. Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Ernst,
Yes.
Commissioner Engel,
Yes.
Commissioner Rollins,
Yes.
Commissioner Vogelsang,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright.
Yeah. Sure.